We often look at the world and ask, why is there so much darkness? But maybe that's not the real problem. Maybe the real question is this: where is the light? Jesus didn't say, try to be the light. He said, you are the light of the world. That means light isn't something we aim for. It's something we're called to live. So the question isn't, do I want to shine? The real question is, am I willing to live in a way that makes darkness impossible around me? Because light doesn't argue with darkness. It reveals it. It replaces it. And when the light stops shining, darkness doesn't have to fight. It simply fills the space we leave behind. This video is about reclaiming that space, about living with clarity, with purpose, and becoming the kind of light the world can't ignore. Light isn't optional. It's your assignment. We've turned being the light into a slogan, a coffee mug verse, a Sunday school catchphrase. But let's be honest, this world doesn't need poetic Christians. It needs dangerous ones. The kind who walk into confusion and bring clarity, who don't just post scriptures, but embody them, who don't dim to be liked, but shine to wake the room. Jesus didn't say, try your best to reflect some light. He said, you are the light of the world. That's not a compliment, it's a commission. And it comes with a cost, because light by nature disturbs the dark. It confronts shadows. It forces decisions. It can't go unnoticed. So ask yourself, if the people around you are still walking in darkness, is it because you never turned your light on? You weren't saved to be safe. You were saved to be sent, not hidden in routines, but positioned in culture like a match to dry wood. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. If you're not shining, someone else is suffering. In this video, we're not playing church. We're not here for good vibes and soft quotes. We're here to train, to go deep, to break passivity, to give you 5 battle-ready strategies to live as the light, with accuracy, consistency, and bold spiritual dominance. Because light isn't symbolic. It's how the kingdom advances. And if you're not burning with it, you're blending with something else. Let's change that, starting now. 1. Stay connected to the source, because light can't shine alone. You are the light of the world, but here's something we often forget. You're not the source of that light. You don't generate it, you reflect it, just like the moon reflects the sun. You shine when you stay close to Jesus. That's why some days we feel full of faith, full of clarity, full of fire. And other days, we feel tired, distant, empty. The truth is, light fades when it loses connection to the fire. And that's exactly what happens to us when we drift away from our time with God. We're still busy, still doing good things, still going to church, maybe even serving in ministry, but inside, we're dim because our soul isn't being filled. We're running on yesterday's fire and pretending it's still enough for today. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay dim. You can reconnect. The Bible says, "Remain in me, and I will remain in you." That's Jesus speaking. He's not asking for perfection. He's asking for presence, for consistency, for real relationship. So what does that look like? It means making time with God non-negotiable. Not just when you feel spiritual, not just when things go wrong, but every day, just like you need air, you need Him. It can be simple. Start your day with 10 quiet minutes. No phone, no distractions, just you and God. Read a short passage and don't rush it. Ask, what is God trying to say to me today? End your day with a one-line prayer. God, keep my light burning. Because when you stay close to the source, you don't have to try so hard to shine. You just do. And when your fire comes from Him, it doesn't burn out. It burns brighter. 2. Don't dim for approval. Light was never meant to fit in. Sometimes the biggest danger to your calling isn't the darkness around you. It's the pressure to blend in. The world doesn't always say, turn off your light. It just says, tone it down a little. Be quiet about your faith. Keep your values to yourself. Be nice, even if it means ignoring what's right. And without realizing it, you start to dim. You don't speak up when something feels wrong. You go along with the crowd just to keep the peace. You hide your light so no one feels uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Jesus didn't call you to blend in. He called you to shine. Light doesn't hide in the background. It stands out. It shows the way. It helps people see clearly. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world." That means your life, your choices, your attitude, your words are meant to point people to something different, to something better. And you can't do that if you're constantly trying to fit in. So ask yourself, where have I been hiding my faith? Where have I stayed silent when I should have spoken with love and courage? Where have I changed myself just to be accepted? It's not always easy to stand out, but when you choose to live honestly, to stay true to what God says, you give others permission to do the same. You don't have to preach, just live with quiet strength, and people will notice. Let your joy be real. Let your kindness be consistent. Let your values be visible, even if they make you different. Because you weren't made to blend in with the world. You were made to help change it. And that change starts when you stop hiding who you really are. 3. Walk like a standard, not a suggestion. Light doesn't try to be light. It doesn't struggle to be seen. It simply is. Wherever it shows up, darkness has no choice but to respond. That's what your life is meant to do. Not blend, not blur, but define, reveal, and lead. Jesus didn't say, "You might be the light." He said, "You are the light of the world." That means your presence, your words, your choices, your reactions should carry weight, clarity, direction. But here's the hard truth. Many Christians today live like a suggestion instead of a standard. We say one thing, we post another. We act differently when no one's watching. And people looking in from the outside, they're not confused because they don't understand Jesus. They're confused because they don't understand us, because our message and our life don't match. But light doesn't work that way. Light doesn't flicker when it's convenient. It shines consistently. That's what the world needs. Not louder voices, but lives that are clear, steady, aligned. The Apostle Paul once said, "Follow me as I follow Christ." That's a bold statement, and it should be ours too. Your life should be followable, not perfect, but clear enough that someone could say, "If I walked like they walk, I'd get closer to God." So let's get real practical. Take an honest look at your life. Ask yourself, what do people see when they see me? Do I live in a way that reflects truth or blurs it? If someone never heard me talk about Jesus, would they still know I follow him? This is not about performance. It's not about being religious or pretending you have it all together. It's about alignment. Does your daily life align with the truth you claim to believe? Because here's what happens when it does. Your presence becomes a mirror. When people are near you, they start seeing themselves more clearly. They sense something deeper. They notice the peace, the consistency, the strength in your decisions. They may not say it out loud, but they'll feel it. And they'll remember it. That's what light does. It doesn't entertain, it guides. So let your life walk like a standard. Let it speak without words. Let it say, "This is what it looks like when someone walks with God and doesn't back down." Because in a world full of suggestions, you were called to be a standard. 4. Burn where you are. Assignment over attention. Too many people are waiting for a platform, while the place God already gave them stays in the dark. We think, once I have more influence, I'll make an impact. Once I get that promotion, that audience, that title, then I'll shine. But that's not how light works. Light doesn't wait for a stage. It burns wherever it's placed. Jesus didn't say, "You are the spotlight of the world." He said, "You are the light." And light, by nature, shows up immediately. It brings warmth, vision, and clarity right where it is. So here's the truth. You don't need a microphone. You need to ignite. Your assignment isn't out there. It's right where you are. Your family, your school, your workplace, your conversations, your online presence. That's the space God gave you, on purpose. But so often, we look past that space, hoping for something bigger. We chase visibility, while neglecting the very place God called us to illuminate. Here's what's powerful. God never asked you to light up the whole world. He asked you to be faithful with the part He placed in front of you. That's why one of the most powerful practices you can start today is what I call one-place impact. Pick one space where you spend a lot of time: home, work, class, online. And ask yourself, am I shining here or just existing here? Then make a shift. If it's your family, speak life more often. Serve without being asked. Bring peace into the room. If it's your job, work with excellence, honor others, stop joining in gossip, pray before meetings. If it's online, stop blending in. Use your voice to share truth, hope, and grace, boldly, not passively. You don't need to be known. You need to be present and fully lit. Because the people around you don't need the idea of Jesus. They need to see Him in how you live, speak, and show up. So stop chasing attention. Start fulfilling your assignment. Burn where you are, and you'll be surprised how far the light travels. 5. Guard the flame. Don't let culture blow it out. Sometimes the biggest threat to your light isn't the darkness around you. It's the distraction within you. We often picture spiritual attacks as obvious: persecution, temptation, rejection. But the truth is, most flames don't go out because of storms. They go out because no one was watching the fire. You don't wake up one day suddenly burned out. It starts slowly, missing time with God, staying spiritually busy but emotionally dry, scrolling endlessly but never hearing His voice. Little by little, your fire dims. And the world isn't trying to stop you from being a Christian. It just wants you to be a distracted one, too tired to pray, too numb to care, too overloaded to shine. That's why Jesus often withdrew. He guarded the flame, not because He was weak, but because He was wise. If you want to live as light, you don't just need fire. You need discipline to protect it. So here's how you guard the flame. First, Sabbath. Protect space to rest and refill. When your soul rests, your light strengthens. 2. Silence. Turn down the world's volume so you can hear God's. If your life is too loud, your spirit can't breathe. 3. Scripture. Feed your flame with truth, not trends. A day without the Word is like walking without fuel. 4. Spiritual community. Walk with people who challenge and cover you. Alone, your fire fades. Together, it multiplies. And most importantly, don't wait until you feel empty to take care of your flame. Prevention is spiritual warfare. Guarding your light isn't selfish. It's sacred responsibility, because this world needs you burning, not flickering, not fading, literature steady, alive. So check your flame. And if it's starting to dim, don't panic. Just return to the one who lit it in the first place. Your life is someone's direction. This world doesn't need more noise. It's already full of opinions, performances, and pressure. What it needs is light, focused light, consistent light, unapologetic, uncompromised light. The kind that doesn't just talk about God, but lives like He's real. You don't need to be impressive. You don't need a spotlight. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to live clear. Because clarity is what changes lives. Not louder words, but a quieter, deeper fire. And maybe your life won't make headlines. Maybe your name will never trend. But someone will watch the way you live and finally see the road they've been searching for. So today, choose to live lit. Not just with belief, but with purpose. Let your kindness carry weight. Let your decisions speak truth. Let your peace become someone's proof that Jesus is real. You are the light of the world. So light up what's around you, and let your life become the reason someone else finds their way home. If you're ready to live with fire, not just faith, watch the next video. The kind of strength heaven trusts, becoming a person of quiet power. Because the brightest people in the kingdom often burn without making a sound.